Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our last press briefing for the Results Center. At the outset, I want to thank the IEC team, both at the Rock, the people on my left, for the amazing job they've done, as well as for my team, which is across the province, for their dedication, commitment, and for the collective effort that we've put in. We didn't stop to think this is not my Munich or that is not my voting district. Everybody pulled their weight. I know we at the Rock, but you are my Rock, and I thank you for that. I also want to thank your families in their absence for the support they've given all of us during this time, long days, sometimes also short tempers. But yeah, thank you to the 18,000 odd electoral staff across the province also who gave their time and hard work under very difficult circumstances. I want to say a special note in his absence also to my predecessor, Reverend Courtney Sampson, who left behind a very wonderful legacy and a team for me to build on, and I'm really appreciative of it. So I've got an amazing team. I also want to specifically, with due respect, but I need to also say thank you to Derek Marco. He'll be retiring and it will be his last election. And thank you to the political parties and independents and everybody that participated. Thank you to the media for your shining light on our challenges and our shortcomings. If I cannot face the hard questions, then I don't deserve to be here. And if we can't respond to the constructive criticisms and shortcomings, then again, I shouldn't be here, because this is the province that I lead as the IEC, and the responsibility lies with me. The success is with my team, but the responsibility and accountability lies with me. We will not always be perfect, because we live in a society that is not perfect. We have our challenges and our ongoing challenges that we face as a country and as a province. Thank you to the observers who form an integral part of our election process. Thank you in specific with appreciation to the Electoral Code of Conduct Observer Commission led by Archbishop Thabo Mogabe, and all the religious leaders as well. Thanks to the security services, specifically Commissioner General Patekile and SAPS, as well as the Cape Town Metro. I also want to thank specifically my provincial coordinator, Jeff Mamputa, for the work that he does assisting me in the province. Where we are now is that in terms of the results of 24 of our local municipalities have now come in. So all municipalities, with the exception of Cape Town Metro, are now in. In the Cape Town Metro, we are still short in terms of the capturing process. They've all been captured, but we are at 90.8% in terms of results slips captured. We are still in the process of finalizing those. As I indicated earlier on, the capturing process involves the auditors, it involves us going through exceptions, and then also the scanning process. And we are hopeful that we will be finishing that job today still, sometime hopefully by this evening. But we are at 90.8% in terms of our result slips captured just for the city. Outside of the city, all the towns, the local municipalities are complete. So at the end of the day, we have 15 hung councils in the province, 9 with majority parties. So that makes up the 24. The city is the one that's still outstanding. And then I can just remind you also with the district councils, we have finalized the district councils, but only the 40% portion of it. What needs to happen is at the first meeting of the local councils, there will be an election of representatives for those local councils to the district council, and that must happen within 14 days of the first meeting of the local council. So we will still be busy dealing with those particular matters. And then can I just again come back and thank the voters of our province for coming out and for the dedication that they've shown in standing in long queues, which is unacceptable to us as the election management body. You know, it always looks good when it shows people standing in queues because it is their commitment. But as an election manager, I do not want to see queues. And there's certainly for us lessons to be learned so that we can improve on our own processes and our own way in which our operations are run. Because I think that to a certain extent has contributed also to the voter experience that our voters have had in our province. And for those who stood in long queues, who were often disappointed, I apologize as the IEC head in this particular province. But I thank you nonetheless for your commitment to come out and to participate in the elections. There will be a lot of analysis done around the turnout, and I don't have the final turnout because our metro is not in. Only once the metro is in will we be able to determine finally what has been the turnout in our province. But there'll be a lot of analysis done. And they are explanations, but not excuses, because I don't think we should be making excuses. But the explanations include a multiplicity of factors. We have apathy, we have alienation. Alienation refers to our process and whether or not our own process as IEC is such that it is creating too many hurdles for people to participate in our election. You also have the fact that you have people that are choosing to go with alternatives, whether it is through protest action, social media groups, alternatives to court cases even, and not participating in our democratic electoral process. And that's something that we also have to look at as all of us. I think it's a challenge on all of us. One of the ways in which we have to improve on our elections is also the experience of our voters. And here especially I look at the experience of voters who had to go to temporary structures. And I will, after this election, be engaging with our local municipalities to see to what extent they can assist the IEC with putting up better temporary structures in better places so that our voters across the board can have a better voting experience. You know, we tend to look at all types of performance indicators, but I think at the end of the day, the best performance indicator is set out in our Constitution at Section 237 that says, your constitutional obligations must be performed diligently and without undue delay. And I think that is going to be the standard going forward, that I will certainly, when we do our debriefings, look at how we can improve on the experience of our voters in this particular province. So to everybody, to the political parties, we had our Provincial Party Liaison Committee meeting this morning. I also want to thank you for your participation and the positive way in which we engage. Please note also that anyone that is not satisfied with the result can object to the national office in terms of Section 65 of our municipal electoral legislation to any matter that is material to the result. So I'm sure that there may still be those objections. So notwithstanding what I've now announced today, there may still be objections which may lead to whether it's recounts and further investigations and ultimately decisions of the commission. But we will await and deal with those as and when they occur. But thank you once again to everybody. The Results Operations Center will be closing down at 6 o'clock this evening because we've done most of our work, and it is unnecessary expense to keep this going for another day when we will be finalizing all of the work anyway. For the rest, we will be operating from our provincial offices in terms of just finalizing and putting the dots and crosses. To all the candidates that have been successful, I also want to congratulate them. And to the candidates who have not been successful, I also want to thank them for participating in our democratic process. I think that, you know, we should not cherry pick our Bill of Rights, because the bill talks about the right to vote and be voted for. And as long as we have candidates and independents who are willing to come up and put out and stand in the election, I think that is a good thing for our democracy. Thank you very much, and God bless.
We will take questions now from Michael will remain, and we will take questions now from the media contingent present here. can be, sir. Thank you, thank you. This is not your platform, sir. Thank you.
We need answers from that man up there, not the media. You've got serious allegations out there that needs to be taken note of. And stop trying to sweep things under the carpet. This code of conduct of this elections has been violated. Grossly. By various political parties. And you need to listen to it and don't tell me we're going to get answers in 6 months' time. We need answers today. How can you not tell me that you will close down here at 6 and there's still votes that needs to come through? What are you still planning? Or who are you the puppet of? Because that's what I recognize you as. The Western Cape electoral puppet. Because you are not doing what you should be doing when this electorate is concerned. That goes for you, the IEC and ICASA. As they are standing here, they represent ICASA. We were given and promised. We attended a meeting where we were promised 50 seconds on radio and on TV. Nothing happened of that. Hey? So these are all the questions that we need to know because it was unfair. It was far from free. And who rigged this election in the Western Cape? My question. Whose collaboration were you with? Who were you as the IEC in bed with?
Yes, that's it.
Eh? Parties threatening, violating the code of conduct. And what does it say in the code of conduct? This is what we need to be asking, the questions around that. When you tell me that the campaigning stops at 12 o'clock the night before, but on the next day, these parties, you know who they are, can come with their music and offer people t-shirts and leaflets on the day of election. When campaigning stopped at 12 o'clock the night before. So where is the ethical leadership if you are ignoring the ethical leadership? Yeah, the ethical leadership stands. Not just what you are trying to cover up for.
The special votes also.
We are not covering up anything. We have been transparent, sir. This is a media briefing. We will be closing this media briefing if you want to address.
Must speak the truth of what we have been doing because the election was irregular. This election must be re-elected. We need a re-election. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I am the president of the DI and I demand a re-election because we only have
Thank you, sir.
less than 50% of the electorate and they have come out and voiced their votes. So there was not a quorum of voters. Less than 50% came out to vote. Why? Because they could see.
Unfortunately, members, I'm closing the press briefing now, and I will deal with questions from the media individually. I cannot conduct a press briefing like this. Thank you.
The election was rigged.
Yes.
Yeah, a board on the side to stop speaking because it's protecting the puppet of the province.
Yes, I think one of the problems in our own municipalities.
Yet the political parties all to speak and tell exactly what has been going on. Now they need to tell you what they violation of the code of conduct. It has, you can go and read it. But we are allowing these bigger parties because they have the funds from the corporates to control this country. And what happens through that? Our people are violated. We need to stop that. And the DI is saying, we are taking this forward. Join hands with us. Don't be scared. Be brave. I challenge South Africa to take this charge, and we will lead you and all these other political parties so that we are stopping fools and may chop them off. We are not.
Underestimate small political parties. We are here to serve our communities and our people. We are sick and tired of this corruption. We are sick and tired of it. Together we stand and together we rise. They can play the anthem, but they will never know the meanings of the words of the South African anthem. My name is Yusuf Kenori. I'm a candidate for now National Freedom Party, the NFP. We are all here together as one South Africans. We are together as one nation. This corruption needs to stop. This corruption needs to stop.
Are you with? What is the response to how the elections went?
No, the IEC, they failed us and they failed our people. The IEC failing our people, and we're not going to leave it this year. We are taking it over.
Have paid 3,500 to take part in this election in the city of Cape Town. But do you see a table of me? This is a local government election, but they tell me because I'm not representing a province or national, I cannot have a table. Hey, but I paid 3,500. So when is the election going to give given a fair opportunity to vote for the real people? The ones that will fight and take the fight to the people. There's many things I can tell you, but this is not the platform. If you want to speak to me, you have my name, you have my number, call me and I will give you an exclusive interview around everything from point 1 to wherever you want to go. But today it is about facing and forcing so that people must know the irregularities that have taken place in this province, in the city of Cape Town. I've been to the voting stations, I've seen it. One of our members, no, actually not just one, member only received one ballot. One ballot, and you should get 2. So, what happened to the other ballot? And how many other voting stations has been hoodwinked like that? Serious allegations and proof.
It's not only in the metro, it's there in the smaller places also, like Drakensberg and Swartland and all that other places that this corruption had been going on. From the special votes, from the Saturday up until the Monday. There by us in Drakensberg, 10,000 special votes. In one ward already, more than 1,000 special votes were given to a certain party, and we as the National Freedom Party did not been accepted, not one special vote from an old person.
The other point is that who the IEC personnel was working for. Guess, I give you a good guess, who they worked for the Blue Brigade. Hey, confess, they worked for the IEC in all the stations. How can you have another political party overseeing a political process? It is wrong. Okay, we've got another stage to face. united with our communities, united with our voters, united and stop people to mix with our choices. Stop these political parties from making decisions for us which affect every single day of our lives. Our people are suffering. They don't have jobs, they don't have homes, they have nothing. But yet, we have these people that control the city that actually making helpful and painful and unlawful decisions for our people.
My absolute pleasure to announce that our election projections now show that we can say with a great degree of confidence that voters have returned the DA to government with a convincing majority in the city of Cape Town. Our projections show that our majority will be around 58.5%, a full 14 percentage points ahead of our closest competitor party. I want to start by saying thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate the support that the residents of Cape Town have given to the Democratic Alliance, the faith that they have shown in me and our party, what we have said we want to do in our city over the next 5 years. We appreciate this endorsement, we appreciate this faith, and we'll work every single day for the next 5 years to make sure that those residents are proud of their decision on Monday to vote for the DA. That is our absolute goal. Let me also just say what the purpose of our government is going to be. The purpose of our government in an election where voters have shown in an unprecedented way that they are unhappy with what is happening in their local towns and cities across the country. We want Cape Town to be a place of pride and hope for South Africa. We want people to see what is possible in South Africa with a good government, under a DA government. We will absolutely, unashamedly and explicitly look to improve the lives of the poorest in our city, expand opportunity, grow our economy, improve safety and security in every community, improve public transport, and make this the best place to live in South Africa, no matter who you are, where you come from, what community you are in. That is what we call inside our party the DA difference. We want every South African to feel proud of that. We want every South African to see it, to feel it in their own lives. We want to show that in Cape Town. And part of what that means is doing more in Cape Town to protect residents from the consequences of failing basic services at a national level, in electricity, in safety and policing, in public transport. And it's actually a wonderful illustration which underscores how urgent this task is that just the day after the elections, our country is plunged back into rolling electricity blackouts across the country. We know that this is urgent. We have a strong mandate from that new DA government that is going to do more to protect residents in the city of Cape Town from those consequences and more to improve the lives of the poorest. I'm deeply grateful for their faith. We want Cape Town to be a city of hope in South Africa that every person can feel proud of. We want to earn the faith and the trust that our voters in Cape Town have shown us on Monday. So I'm really privileged and humbled as the incoming mayor of Cape Town. I look forward to working with each one of you as members of the media. Please feel free to contact me if you have an open door to me. I look forward to building this relationship over the next 5 years, and I can't wait to get started. Thank you very much. I feel very excited. There's 2 weeks to go before the inauguration and the council gets started, so there's some time for preparation, there's some time to catch up on sleep, and there's some time to really focus on our priorities. But the overwhelming sense is just of excitement to keep this going. Yes. 34 years old. Thanks, Mark. Yes, you were next man. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll answer the first one. Next to me, different subdivision leader. He'll do the one on the rest of the province.
Let me say the reason that I stood to be the mayor of Cape Town was because I knew. Okay, let me start that again. The reason that I stood to be the mayor of Cape Town is because I knew that we had work to do to demonstrate a fresh energy, a renewal in the city, that we would address some of the concerns that citizens had, and I am absolutely thrilled with the result. It's more than I had hoped for, and more than I thought was possible. So it's a great result. It's a strong mandate for what I have said in the campaign and what we've said to voters in the campaign, that there does need to be a fresh injection of new energy and focus in the city, and I look forward to being able to implement that. Bertie,
just to talk about the hung councils, there are 15 and 11 of them we are the kind of lead party in it. The electorates have spoken. Are we not at the time when we have to give account to the electorate and respect the electorate? Stop making jokes with the electorate. That's our view. So that if you don't deliver, the electorate will deal with you. And so we will have to deal with those hung councils. We will also start negotiations from a federal point of view with the province to start looking at coalition agreements with whoever we think. But we're not going to go into a coalition for the sake of a mayoral chain. We're going into coalitions on principle. If we think it's not going to be principled, if people want to steal the money that we are possibly going into coalition, we will not go into it. So I think it's a very important point.
So understand that you must be concerned about the exam, also one of the reasons. What do you attribute that to?
Look, I think there's been, across the country, you've seen a splintering of votes to smaller parties. But let me just focus on the future. I want to make every single person who has voted for us, 58.5%, 59% of the city, proud of the decision that they took on Monday to back us. I'm extremely proud of Cape Town's turnout in unbelievably bad weather. We've got one of the highest turnouts in the country. So it is absolutely clear that there's a resounding faith in the DA as the government that delivers the best in South Africa. But of course, we've said through this entire campaign, we have much more to do. We've got more to do to deliver dignity to so many people who live in poverty. We've got more to do to deliver work to those who live in unemployment, in safety for those who live in fear of crime. We have more to do, and I can't wait to get started doing that with the resounding mandate that we have from the city to get going.
When do you start? You spoke about refreshing and going forward for the next 5 years. Are we going to see the same Mako? Are we going to see some difference in the Mako? And how are you going to make up the Mako going forward? I'm not asking for specific names, but I'm asking for you are the youngest mayor. Are we going to see a change in the city of Cape Town? And can you just explain more about that?
It does influence it. I think that the mandate that I, or rather the offer that I put to the city was one of refreshment, of change in the city. That has been endorsed emphatically, and so that must be shown in the city now, and it will be.
Will we see more young people on the Mako?
Yes.
Indeed.
Okay. Sorry, there was another question here that was it yours, man? When do I start officially? So as soon as the results are declared, proclaimed officially, 14 days after that there will be a council meeting. So I'm guessing around the 18th or the 19th of the month. Yeah, within 14 days. Yes or no answer?
No, I just want to know any Afrikaans from the
no
gentleman.
problem.
Please, go ahead. Can I thank you?
Thank you.
Do you want to start first?
Yeah.
Do you want
Okay,
to-
sure. Where's your camera? Oh, there.
He's up there. Yeah.
All right.
So you're going to become the next mayor of Cape Town. How do you feel about this?
Wel, ek wil net eerstens sê vreeslik baie dankie vir die inwoners van Kaapstad vir die vertroue wat hulle in my gewys het in die demokratiese alliansie vir die volgende 5 jaar. Ek sal voluit werk elke dag vir die volgende 5 jaar om daai vertroue te verdien en om daai Kaapenaars trots te maak in hulle besluit om agter die DA te staan en vir ons hulle steun te gee.
Wat een handhandel in Afrikaans.
Hangrade.
Ja, hangrade. Wat gaan die DA doen vir sulke rade waar julle nou nie die meerderheid gekry het?
Nou, ons het omtrent 11 hangrade wat op die oomblik tans bestudeer word en om te kyk na die dynamiek in elke een van hulle en om dan met van 'n nasionaal gedrewe koalisie ooreenkoms met verskillende partye te begin praat en om te sien of ons 'n regering kan vorm. Ons gaan nie 'n regering vorm net om een te vorm nie. As ons in oppositie moet gaan, sal ons in oppositie gaan. Want ons gaan nie met mense sit wat geld steel en wat die koffers van die regering gaan verpletter nie. En ek dink dit is 'n belangrike uitgangspunt dat ons moet beklemtoon. Die laaste punt wat ek wil maak, die mense wat gestem het, hulle het gepraat en ons moet dit regtig baie meer respekteer. Want as jy diens lewer, sal jy teruggestem word. En my boodskap aan alle nuwe raadslede is, wees die absolute dienaars van die gemeenskap, gaan lewer dienste, want as jy nie, gaan jy uitgestem word vir die volgende verkiesing.
Wat is die moeilijkheid dat julle in die coalitie van met die voetpartij sal gaan en op plekke soos Boot en...
Ons kan nie op die oomblik met enige spesifieke, en ek is nie by magtig aangekomen, want ons nasionale komitee wat al die negotiations doen, onderhandelings doen, hulle is bezig om te kyk na alle partye en al die scenario's en dan finale besluit doen.
Ek is so bly ek kan vir jou Afrikaans woord gee. Jammer.
Dat meneer Smit nou aangaan.
Okay, daar is hy. Dankie meneer.
Baie waardeer dit. Net in Afrikaans oor my Mako praat.
Die aanbod wat ek vir die stad Kaapstad inwoners gemaak het, was een van hernuwing en jeugde en what is freshness? Varsheid, there we go. Must I start again? Oh, okay. Een van varsheid. En ek het ons het nou 'n baie sterk mandaat gekry van die kiesers vir daai aanbod. En so dit moet nou deurtrek en gewys word in die stad, in die span wat die stad lei.
Are you nervous at all about being the mayor?
No, I'm very excited. I'm fascinated by public policy challenges. I want to get my hands dirty in trying to improve them and fix them over time. And I just want to get stuck in.
It's from a political point. We all get it as the politicians now. With my colleague who is the deputy chair in the province, incidentally the mayor is also a deputy chair, we will demand from every councillor a service delivery plan for every ward. And that we want to see. And that will include, the challenges in the ward in terms of socio-economic issues, safety in the ward, what stakeholders or what kind of stakeholder forums are being implemented so that we can start from the one in service delivery and start holding them accountable for that.
Well, I think the first challenge is answers.
Yeah, that man, you need some.
Thank you.
I'm not medically qualified to deal with that.
It's okay, Katrina. Okay, thank you. Just happened. Okay. Well done. Thanks,